Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Are you Masters champ? Oh, let me make sure I got.
Was he the Masters champ sitting in the clubhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want a song? You need headphones. There we go.
You got no shot to put
I
those.
got bad cans.
Hey, the song's playing.
That's why you couldn't hear it.
Oh, I didn't know you were playing.
All righty.
Uh-huh.
We got a lot to talk about.
I think so.
On topics, but I got something. It's been the last 2 days. As you age, I'm going to be 77 next month, right?
I don't like that.
October 17th. As you age, you
77.
start to
Who
look.
would have thunk it?
Yeah, as you start to look at the signs.
Mm-hmm.
When have you turned that corner where you're just holding on by your fingernails, But when you turn that corner, and I figured it out. It's that time in your life when you hate going down steps more than you hate walking up steps.
Okay.
That is my new theory. It probably occurred with me about 3 years ago, I'm guessing.
I can identify.
Yes, right. Because if they're going up, you can stop. But stopping doesn't do you any good going down.
Well, you can stop going down
Yes.
if you got a railing to hold on to.
Yes, but you don't want to look like a complete
Why don't
fool
you do what
going
I do?
down. What?
I do step practice.
What?
I take a step up and bring the other foot up to it. Then I take it back down, bring the other foot down. I practice.
I bet you picked that up on Curb Your Enthusiasm, too. Is that where you caught it?
I don't know where I got it, but and then sometimes if I'm feeling a little perky,
Yeah?
2 steps.
2 steps?
Two at a time?
At once.
at once,
Boy,
yeah.
wow, that's a big one.
Now, there used to be a swimmer here from Wyzetta. Moses was his name. He ended up in the Barcelona Olympics, I think. He was one of the, or Sydney. He would work out he had a stairwell, and he would hop up
I don't do that.
1 step on his haunches.
Oh, yeah.
Then he would hop up. The next time it would be 2 steps at a time.
Oh, boy.
2 steps at a time on his haunches. And then one more time, 3 steps.
Yeah.
That guy did not fear going up or down
Why don't you
steps.
try that?
Yes. Why don't I try getting on my haunches?
Why don't you hop down on your haunches?
Back in the days when we had a studio, an audience at the fair, we probably would have tried that, but we don't have to do it.
What made you think of the steps?
Because last night I was...
You know what he told me? Don't talk about anything yet. I got something to lead with.
Yeah. Last
Steps.
last night it took me. I was going 2 steps per step on a 6-step flight going down to my last level, and I thought, this is ridiculous. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go down steps. No. Now we got the serious point.
You have
Here
notes.
we go.
Yes,
This
I had to
is
remember
shocking.
This one. We had Memoromania help launch us, really, Memoromania in the 80s, right? When
Oh, you had Memoromania.
I had Memoromania. I had the fear of forgetting, and you tried to console me.
Right.
It's not a fear anymore. It's arrived, baby.
You hadn't forgotten anything. Memoromania was the fear that you would forget
that
something.
I would forget something. But this is then it becomes the fear that you're going to become forgetful. And then it becomes, I see signs. I go back now 6 months maybe.
We're still kind of on the step thing here.
No, we're up the steps. We're talking about my memory now.
Okay.
This is topic
memory.
number 2.
Number 2, kind of tied in those.
Well, that's what I meant.
Old
This is
age.
tied in.
Tied in, old age, yes. So I was thinking about my memory and how it's there's little things that you certainly I've left my billfold at home more in the last 6 months than in the rest of my life combined.
Okay.
I never did that. And now 2/3 of the times I get somewhere I don't have it because as I'm walking 5 seconds earlier, I say, pick up that billfold and I will walk right by it. So anyway, that was the first sign. But lately, as we come to aging and my birthday that's got the sevens in it, right? 77.
Mm-hmm.
As we come to that stage, I've noticed this. You're thinking about something, right?
Yeah.
You're in the midst of thinking.
Yeah.
You don't think about anything else.
Right.
There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
But you get this little tick, and it takes you a second or two to reboot to remember what you were doing 3 seconds ago.
I don't think that's terribly unusual.
I think it is.
No, what's
I never
unusual
had
about that? You got
behavior.
it back in seconds.
Yeah, but I've noticed that I had to. Okay,
Give me an example.
I can't remember. No, there was one today. There was one of those today that made me think about the tick. But as I say, I can't remember what the thought process was about. It might have been something about the twins, for that matter.
Is that on the same lines of what did I come up here for?
Yeah.
You ever had that one?
Yeah, but that's.
Wait a minute. What did I come in here for?
I'm talking about mid thought.
Mid thought, it leaves you,
Mid-thought, maybe you look somewhere else.
and then you got to
Then
reboot
you
to
come
get it back.
You got to reboot to remember what I had said.
Yeah.
That's a tick. That's a tick. Something I didn't notice before. And so anyway, I had to bring those.
But you can't really say that this has started recently, can you? And I guess
that moment of
okay.
you have your thought. and
Well,
then it goes
because
like
I
this.
remember doing a radio show with you, I would say 5 or 6 years ago, in which you basically recited the entire stat line for the Thanksgiving Day game against the Detroit Lions in 1989. Then I asked you what you had for lunch, and you couldn't remember.
Yeah, that kind of stuff could always happen. But this is new. This is new.
Oh, this is new. Gotcha.
But to my everlasting credit,
Here we go.
this is something you saw Bullet, right?
Many
You know,
times.
Steve McQueen and the other
Wonderful.
guy. Fantastic driving.
Love it.
Fast driving.
The best to this day.
I'm saying move over.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Robbinsdale on Saturday morning,
Okay.
and I took the old, where the Tower Theater was 100 years ago. There's now a big Hy-Vee there.
Yeah.
I turned right there onto Broadway
Okay.
and did not miss a light until Washington Avenue, where I turned right.
All right.
That's never been achieved in
What's
the
the
history.
point of this?
Hitting nothing but green lights on Broadway Avenue
But this
has
has-
never been done in the history of mankind.
What does this
It
have
was
to do with
due
aging?
Nothing. It has to do with, to my credit, I came through as a driver in historic fashion.
Topic 3.
that was
But
it.
this is so
My
unlike
fine
the
driving.
previous two topics. This is just out of the blue.
This is Monday Night Sports Talk.
I had yet to brag about hitting all the lights on Broadway Avenue.
a good
Never
feeling.
Been done. Yes, because it's always been going way back.
Yeah.
To after the war, I guess. A lot of people starting and stopping going up that street.
What
Broadway.
in God's name are you talking about?
A lot of old
Seriously,
guys,
what the hell are you talking
old guys
about?
in DeSoto's going down slow on Broadway.
You didn't
Avenue.
happen to stop at Winter's Gas on Broadway, did you? On the corner there?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
We had a little difficulty there.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Well, anyway, I made them all the down lights.
Well, I'm really glad you're telling us that. I had no bleeping idea.
Go try it sometime. It hasn't been done. Hadn't been done.
Yep.
And especially with construction. There's always construction.
The hell were you doing in Robbinsdale on Saturday morning?
I was picking up a birthday cake for for our grandson.
Oh, okay. You have a bakery there you frequent.
Oulettes. There's a Oulettes in.
Well, we
in
got one
Robinson.
in town.
Yeah, I think Mrs. The CP has probably
Yeah, she's been
patronized
there.
that out
I
a few
think
hundred
so.
times. All right, let's talk about First, the Twins or the Vikings? What do we want?
I want to say the Twins have been fun,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fun, but it's been a summer full of problems.
Mm-hmm.
There was never really a period during the summer where you thought, we got something going here. This is a big, this is legit. There's always been a shadow to pull you back and make you realize, no, you really can't get too comfortable here.
Yeah, even when they were not fully healthy, but healthy enough to have Buxton for 4 games a week, and they departed with Sano and those guys.
I agree with you. I
They
thought
were playing good.
I remember watching their game. I remember this because I was out in the West. 4th of July, remember the triple play Buxton had in Chicago because that was the first game of the series. I thought, holy cow, they got a good shot at winning this thing. Yeah. That's the first and the only time I thought, man, they might have a decent club this year.
Yeah, it didn't. Once they started losing, Phil Miller had, maybe St. Paul too, in his game story this Monday, Joe. I think it was Monday. The doubleheader, 24 innings. They played 5 different outfielders, got onto the field. Mm-hmm. They went 1 for 25, but none of them had been on the roster at the All-Star break.
Wow.
Well, the pitcher hadn't been on the roster as of noon.
Yeah, right. Derek Rodriguez, yeah. The kid.
I end the season firmly believing I'm not a Rocco guy. I'm just not a Rocco guy. And now he might be a hell of a guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a Rocco manager guy.
I think I think what might be required is for the boys upstairs to take off the grip.
Well, then I'm not a boys upstairs guy either.
Their whole they have to sit back and question themselves after all that went wrong this year with their pitching decision. They got to look at their medical staff that approved this Chris Paddock guy and approved Malley too. They gave up a lot for this Malley and they passed him on the physical. They got to look at.
Why did
they got to look at the way they use pitchers, because I don't care what the third time through the order says. You can't put that much stress on the good pitchers in your bullpen that everybody bailing after 5 innings is you get once in a while one of these guys got to give you 7. How about that stat? Was that the stat of the year, Reavers? Did you hear that? When Ryan yesterday, second time this year a Twins starter has thrown a pitch in the 8th inning.
You're kidding
That
me.
is so weird.
Bundy did it once. Remember that?
Oh, against Arizona. I remember that.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
That might be the most damning statistic I've ever read.
It is.
And I would understand that philosophy if you had a lights-out bullpen. Yeah. You don't. You have one of the worst bullpens in the American League.
I am sure that a guy like Sonny Gray, who was a kind of an innings guy and a bunch of innings, I am sure that he would have gone past 7 probably 8 times, and they just hooked him. It's not that all their pitchers are incapable of it.
No,
it's
a philosophy.
Yeah.
Well, it's dreadful, and it makes it a summer, as I say, where there was always an elephant in the room.
Yes, there was, and sometimes the elephant was the lineup, and sometimes it was the pitching.
Yep.
And the base running, dreadful, bad base running, and fielding. Ordinary.
Well, how could Polanco be essentially an Iron Man until 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
What the hell is this?
Don't know.
He never missed a game.
They said, you know what they said originally about Buxton? Patella tendonitis, down there behind the knee.
In other words, arthritis behind your kneecap.
Yes, and now that's what they're saying that Polanco might be dealing with.
Polanco,
tendonitis under the patella. So
what? So
they need him, man.
Here's another elephant. I'm already thinking of next spring. You're going to have to start the season with another Buxton plan.
Yes,
you're going to have a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, and your plan this year didn't work. Their whole plan of getting the guys off their feet in May so they could be strong in September has not exactly worked for the fellas. So.
What is the Polanco contract? Didn't he sign one of those 5-year?
One more year,
One
I
more.
think. Or maybe there's an option on him, too.
It won't bother me if Correa's gone either. I know that you're
He's
a
been
fan.
the only
No, but
reason
the
they've
But
been
he's
in
been
games.
reliably disappointing most of the year.
The last 2 weeks, he's been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But as the team sucked, so. You know what really agitating me about baseball right now? The fact that we're supposed to have a discussion as to whether Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge is the MVP of the American League. Mm-hmm. It is not worthy of discussion. Judge is going to hit 65 home runs. He might win the Triple Crown. And he has taken a team that's been very poor offensively to 100 wins. The guy in California, okay, he's versatile. He's quite an act. He's a very good pitcher. And
How many home runs he have?
he got, what, 30?
30-something.
Yeah.
Okay, who would you rather have on your team next year?
Judge.
Okay, I wouldn't. I'd rather Ohtani.
Oh,
Because he's going to hit 30 home runs and maybe get you 15 wins.
Here's the point. They're 20 games under 500. How valuable has he been? When
Then how
you're-
bad is the rest of the club?
Him and Trout.
Yeah.
And Trout was hurt half the season. So, yeah, the rest of the club is really bad. So, but
They're coming
that's
here,
not-
aren't they?
Yes.
The guy who's done something for his team in an enormous way is with the Yankees, not with the Angels. Now, Ohtani might end. I think Ohtani's going to opt out and end up somewhere else because of his disappointment with the Angels. But
What has to happen for the Twins? Well, this has to be asked. They're certainly by no means mathematically eliminated.
what's the score today?
Well, they're playing the.
Oh, I forgot they're even
Cleveland's
playing right now. You're
Are they
right.
playing right now?
I will look that
And
up.
Gray's pitching today, right?
Huh?
Gray.
Yes. Sonny Gray's pitching, so they got a chance. But here we go.
It is. We are through 5, and the Guardians lead your club 4-2 right now. Through
That's
5.
more hitting than we expected.
And on
from either team.
twinsbaseball.com, the headline is Final Showdown in Cleveland.
Ooh.
This is it for Cleveland, right? We're done playing them?
Yes. And Sonny Gray had to exit after 2 innings.
Oh, today?
Yes.
God.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Oh, God almighty. What?
Honest to God.
Yeah, what was he? He was claiming some. I think it's official that they have they've told these guys to, sit back and relax the rest of the year. We're out of luck. So anyway, that's nothing. Yeah, it can't happen, Joe. It's
can't.
over.
It really
the
can't.
other thing they have this year that nobody talks about. Baseball has a new system because they've added more playoff games, right? Mm-hmm. There's no playoff if 2 teams tie for a playoff spot or a division spot. The division winner is the team that won the season series, and obviously Cleveland kicked the crap out of the Twins.
Veteran right-hander Sonny Gray had thrown just 44 pitches, according to team beat reporter Do-Young Park. His fastball velocity was down.
Oh, good.
Gray walked off the field after the second inning and headed straight to the clubhouse per the Star Tribune's Phil Miller. He had given up a 3-run homer in the first and an RBI triple in the second. Gray had already had 2 stints on the injured list this season due to a pectoral strain in June and a hamstring injury back in April.
He ain't making another. He's not making another start. It's
We're not being careful enough.
careful enough. That's right.
That's the problem.
Yeah. What are we going to do next year when we make them throw the ball so fast? We can't protect them. You know who I felt sorry for over the weekend?
Is Rocco back next year?
Yes.
All right.
Half his coaches might not be, but I think he will be. But, see, now you knocked me off my game. What was I going to talk
Now you
about?
got to reboot.
I got to reboot.
Reboot.
You got to start. You were going to say, you know what I was thinking about. No, that's not what
No,
you
I
said.
don't.
Wins, batting. What you got to
Sonny
worry
Gray
about?
next
Sonny
year. What we
Gray
got to
next
worry
year.
about next year?
Throwing faster pitches next year. You got to have pitch clock.
Your local 9 in 2023.
Come on, reboot, buddy.
Here we go.
Come on.
What we got to think about? You don't have a shortstop
Yeah.
to start the season.
That's a bad thing.
Correa's leaving. Next year, you're going to have a shortstop because there's only 2 guys on each side of the infield.
That's right.
You got to play shortstop. Guy that goes back, picks it up, throws it over to first from the hole, Guy with some range, not some jackass just standing there between the, right where they're hitting what would have been base hits. Anyway, so that's, you're going to start the season, Correa's leaving, and Royce Lewis is probably not going to play until the middle of next season. And
what's wrong with him?
Well, he had the knee injury.
He played 3 innings in center field, ran in the center field fence, and damn near killed himself. But he's now having surgery for the 2nd straight year. So he's out for the 2nd straight year. So, I mean, he'd be
Bring back fat guys who sold hot dogs in the off season.
That's right. So they're there. It's going to be hard to muster up any optimism for next
Bucks
year.
has got he probably now has no interest in playing again this year.
Well,
Zero.
no, why would you?
Yeah.
I don't think they should allow him. I don't know what they should do. Send him off somewhere and let him. Bo Jackson tried to become the first player with an artificial hip to play. It didn't work out. But
why not a new knee?
Yeah, can we? They've really made
can do a knee. You can get a knee.
Really made a lot of progress with orthopedic surgery.
Yes.
Can a guy
this ain't Tony getting hacked
Can
on
a
with
guy
a
get
cleaver.
a new knee and still play baseball and be very fast? That would be the.
Well, now that you bring that up, is there anybody with a fake knee in
I
baseball?
don't believe. A couple of managers, I would guess. I don't think they are the ultimate in mobility, but I don't know. And don't. As long as I keep going very slowly down the steps, I won't have to worry about having knee surgery from a fall.
How about the lighting on the steps? You need lighting. I
Yeah,
need lighting.
We have lighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta have lighting.
Generally speaking. Yes. Yeah, you do.
You do.
Meanwhile, tonight in Philadelphia,
86 degrees and
I
no
saw
threat of
you
bad
saying
weather.
that. I saw
You did
saying-
declare, I saw on Twitter, they're already drinking in Philly.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, hell
they
yeah.
would have been hammered at 9 this morning.
Yeah.
But which puts a lot of pressure on young Jalen Hurts to make a couple of plays.
Ooh, that's
Otherwise,
true.
their turn on him, they can turn on you in a
They
hurry.
attack Santa Claus.
Well, the last few years at the vet, they set up a jail precinct in the basement.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're crazy. That whole. I'd say that's not steel there, but that's almost the start of the belt, right?
Yeah.
Goes over
Yeah.
to Detroit
Yeah.
almost with a big
Not
body
there,
of water.
really. Yeah,
a
but-
big body of water, but it goes to and all those towns, man. They all they care about is football.
That's right.
All they care about is football. So
I like the Vikes' chances tonight, and I
Oh,
don't
do
know
too.
why.
I do too.
Usually they don't play well in games like this.
But it's not early. It's too early to even be a big game as
Hey,
far as
Pat.
pressure-wise. There's no pressure.
Why are there 2 Monday night games?
I don't know why they did that.
Well, I told Joe earlier, usually they do that for the opening weekend, but not week 2. A lot of times they'll have 2 Monday night games on the opening weekend, but I have no idea why they're doing 2 this weekend. But this is the only week.
What? Your loyalties are torn, aren't they?
I got to watch my
You're
Buffaloes
a
to
Buffalo
start.
diehard.
Yep.
Now that's when? When's that one?
That's at
6 o'clock.
And then the Vikes are
You
at
got the
7:30.
Buffaloes and
but they're going to be on different. So they're going to be competing against each
No,
other.
the Buffaloes are going to be on the ESPN and the Vikes are on ABC.
But
Who is it,
they're
Tennessee and
competing.
Buffalo?
Half the game they'll be competing against.
Yes,
each
Tennessee is in Buffalo. You want to talk about 2 beer drinking crowds, man. Buffalo
name
and
me
Philly.
an NFL crowd that's not beer drinking.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
football and alcohol in general.
Speaking of that, someone tweeted out a photo of the second quarter of the UCLA game on Saturday. There may have been 800 people in attendance at the.
Who were they playing? You know?
I don't know, but
Some-
I only saw it because
some
I
nobody.
follow Troy Aikman and he retweeted it, said this is the saddest thing I've seen in a long time. Well, their program's terrible right now.
Yeah,
UCLA.
Well, don't they Chip's there, right?
I think so,
Chip
yeah.
Kelly, yeah. He was cheating Chip. He's
got to start cheating
He
again.
has more money at Oregon than he has there. But anyway, the Vikings, Joe, have the advantage of being in the National Football Conference,
Yes.
Yeah.
and instead of the other one this year, and they beat Philadelphia tonight. They're going to be about 2 in the NFC power rankings behind Tampa. They're nobody good.
Did you see that brawl
the
with Tampa and New Orleans yesterday?
No, and Brady caused it, huh? Brady.
Well, the Marshawn Lattimore, the really good cornerback for the Saints, who's kind of a hothead, he was, because Brady wanted a flag, and so Lattimore started to mimic him, and then Brady walked up to him, and then that's when Evans, the receiver, knocked out Lattimore, and then they both got tossed out of the game. But New Orleans is so stupid. They were in control of the game, and that gave Tampa life, and that's how they won the game.
Well, yeah, that sport draws itself to hot-headed individuals.
Yes, it does.
Especially on the defense, right?
Yes, it does.
Especially on the defense.
I wasn't sure if it was going to come up, but our guy Frank Caliendo, Joe, Pat Summerall and John Madden called the end of the Arizona Cardinals Las Vegas Raiders game with Kyler Murray pulling one out of his you-know-what towards the end of the game. So here was the call of that game, courtesy of Frank Caliendo and John Madden and Pat Summerall.
All right.
Looks like they're going for two, Pat.
Sure does. Kyler Murray, back to pass.
I think this place falling apart, Pat. I don't think he can see anything. How tall is Kyler Murray, Pat?
5'10", I believe.
Not sure about that. How tall is Kevin Hart?
Maybe 6 foot. Murray, directing traffic.
Actually, he was creating a diversion, Pat. And he pointed in a couple places, and boom, he ran circles around these guys.
Touchdown, Cardinals.
Those were some amazing tactics. I don't understand how he did it. I guess it's just modern warfare. You ever play Call of Duty, Pat?
Can you find the gas station one?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
His Summerall is better than his Madden.
Yes.
His Summerall's 100%.
You've heard the gas station one. Pat.
I'm sure I have.
Oh, we got to play it.
You gotta give me a second, though. Just give me a second. It's going to take me a minute.
Can we talk about Danny Willett just for a moment?
For
some reason, I stumbled on that
the end
just in time to see Homa pitched in.
Okay. Were they the final two?
Final two on 18. And all Willett had to do was make a 3.5-foot birdie putt to win, or then miss that and still make a par putt to force a playoff. Mm-hmm. He putted 3 times.
Well, where'd the first putt go? I haven't looked at the video.
Just went by 5 feet.
Oh, so he was a little.
He was farther away on the second putt than he was for the birdie putt.
Oh, yeah, and he was coming back uphill.
And
obviously.
he seems like a good-natured kid, but you can't do that. You can't miss 3 times to win.
No, wait a minute, Reavers.
Not to win, to finish second.
Reavers wasn't
times.
Willett the guy. Reavers. Hey, Chris Reavers. Anybody get a hold of him there?
What's that?
Wasn't Willett the guy we abused at the Ryder Cup? His brother?
Oh, I think you're right. Yes.
Yes,
his brother that wrote the thing. Yeah, he's the guy that we. I suppose some of those leftover drunks from Hazeltine are saying, "Good, I'm glad to see that happen." Because his brother wrote a satirical letter to some publication about casting the Americans in a bad light, and it ended up. Of course, the British and Irish tabloids made big headlines of it. Then it got over here, and then we abused the hell out of him during the Ryder Cup. It was a big story, because he had to apologize, and on Saturday the drunks were still yelling at him on Sunday.
That's also the same place, Joe, where Pat and I were doing the show, and Pat screamed "Go Europe" in the U.S. side of the press area at the Ryder Cup.
I always root
for
for
the
Europe.
President's Cup this weekend? Is that a big deal? Are we trying to
at Quail Hollow?
Yeah, can live players play in it?
No, they did not let those commies in. But actually, not commies, fascists.
Arabs.
Yeah. So
here's
anyway.
Pat Summerall and
John
Madden at a gas station.
What the heck's going on here, Pat?
It looks like this young lady's just realized the gas tank's on the other side of her vehicle.
But didn't she do this one time before you started videoing this thing already?
Sure did.
So she keeps pulling around, but she can't fill up because she keeps pulling around to the same side where the gas tank isn't instead of where the gas tank is. Isn't that right, Pat?
I think so.
So what's more confusing here, where her gas tank is or my explanation of this whole thing?
It's pretty close.
Oh, and she kept driving around in a circle but pulling up to the same left driver's
getting out
side
and looking.
And like, well, how come it's not there this time? Well,
You know
honey,
what they got now? They got a little arrow on your gas gauge.
Yep.
They'll show you what side the tank's in.
You know who needs that, by the way? The woman I'm married to.
Really?
Yeah, she needs that help.
Well, when you change vehicles, but I don't drive the wife's Volvo too often, and I often find myself questioning, even though it's on the same side as it is in my car. I, some reason, don't believe that. I don't know why that is.
But she's driving in the circle. That's the part that gets me. Is she goes, well, maybe it's the wrong pump.
I think it is,
pull the other side.
How would have you liked to have been covering that Iowa Hawkeyes football game on Saturday night, Sunday morning?
Well, you're presuming I know the score.
Well, it ended about 2 a.m. because of a 1 2-hour and 54-minute lightning delay.
Really?
And they think they kicked off at 7, might have been 6, and they ended at almost 2 in the morning.
That's not any worse than the Twins game Saturday night, which I watched the entire thing.
But I think in the case of the Hawkeye fan base might have been the only ones rooting for the extended game time because that just gave them more of an opportunity to imbibe.
Yeah, perhaps, but I just saw a little video from TV that there was a couple thousand people left, and they were, the last man's club or something they call themselves. So
Your paper's now doing live scores, Pat.
not too deep though, right? Not
Well, that's all the players they got.
I bet that's not all of them though. I bet that's not 48. Just looking from here,
Not
that ain't 48.
Cameron Smith was first. He got
Yeah.
$4 million.
Yeah.
Max Homa won a real tournament. He got $1.4 million.
Yeah, well, next year it'll be closer, and we'll find out. I wonder if anybody in Chicago showed up to watch this. They were in somewhere near
They
Chicago.
were in some farm thing. Well, what's it called? Rich Harvest Farms. I don't know where that is in Illinois. Well, it does tell us here. Boy, I need new cheaters. Sugar Grove, Illinois. I'd never heard of it.
Near Chicago. they're
What a
saying.
match.
Yes, that's what they're. What else we got? Oh,
I know.
Gophers. Oof.
Yeah, they didn't have a hard time, but they lost that receiver.
Receiver, which
Hotman Bell.
they might want to have him this week because Michigan State is god awful on pass defense, as the Washington Huskies proved over the weekend. But you look at the way they're playing. I'm admitting this, and if they win Saturday, how many teams are on the schedule that can beat them? Like Penn State might be it until they play Wisconsin at the end. And Wisconsin's not. Wisconsin got Ohio State this week, and they also have Michigan. So even if they end up having a showdown, like each lose once in their division, the Gophers won't even have to win the last game to win the division.
That's true.
So.
You mean this is the Michigan State season? That's what we do each week and go for
Yeah,
football.
that's
This is the
right.
Michigan.
I guess
Hey,
that's
you know who
what
we
we
could
do.
have on now as a regular guest again? Our guy Herm.
I was going to
Edwards.
mention that. Congratulations, Herm. You get the money. You get out. You came back for the money.
Yep.
We know that. He came back for
Hey,
the
who's
money.
Lovey coaching for?
Houston Texans.
He's not the head coach.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
they-
Lovey Smith is the head coach.
Yeah, they looked all around.
He
and
wasn't good
That's
enough
the
for
best
Illinois.
they could come up with.
He was an assist. He was like a volunteer assistant somewhere last year, wasn't
Got
he?
the hell of a white beard going.
Oh, he does. He
Just a great beard.
He looks a little like a Chris Rock cartoon character out in the porch, But
In fact, he was the assistant at Houston last year.
Okay,
Under
that's right, he
was it
did
David
that.
Culley or whatever his name was?
When do our Fighting Wild take the ice for practice?
next week, tomorrow, I think.
I can't. It's this week at some point. I can't
Tomorrow's
remember.
reporting date, I think. What is wrong with people? What's the hurry? What's the hurry?
Yeah, because they go till June.
Yeah. Play another game a week. Take your time. Let them have the fall. The fall's beautiful.
Herm still had one of my favorite quotes uttered on the Royce show, though, when he was talking about trying to tell young players that social media is forever. Just don't hit send. Think about it before you hit send. And he's right.
Who said that?
Herm.
Herm was a
Oh, he
great
was great.
radio guest.
Didn't you guys have him every week?
Yeah, every football season for several years. Yeah. And Mom handled it. He went through Mom to set it up.
Really?
So, and I mean, his wife, who
Hey,
obviously.
are Tom and Giselle on the outs?
Well, she was mad that he came back, but they'll make it. They took those 11 days in the Bahamas to work things out.
is
before
that
he
where they
came
were?
back.
Plus,
Yeah.
he now is not. He's like Percy Harvin. He's not practicing on Wednesdays.
Yes, back family day.
Who was it said practice?
Yeah,
It's
Alan Iverson.
Alan Iverson.
That was
Allen
Allen
Iverson.
Iverson. You're right.
The guy you came over to watch play.
I love him.
The guy you came over to watch play, wasn't it the night that you got the governor agitated or
yeah.
something? That was a beautiful.
Took some money off the governor, which was not difficult.
Especially when you knew the answer was going to
Right.
be wrong.
Right.
Anyway, well, we've told that story. We'll tell it again sometime when we got more time, right?
Yes. Well, are we going to the bank? I don't
Yeah.
even have to go to
You
the
know
bank.
what I got to do? I got to go get my computer from the computer guy.
Where's the computer department?
He's not. He's up the street. But all of a sudden, Saturday, I'm trying to write something, and I get Microsoft security. We're shutting you down. Get out of here. Hit this. Don't try to turn off your machine. Hit this. Call it back on. Somebody else is yelling at me on there. I couldn't get on my computer, so I had to, take it to a guy.
Don't you
and
have
say,
a computer guy at the paper?
I'm not going to wait 6 days. I need it. I need it. And,
All right.
then, so anyway, we
All
got
right.
that going for us.
Watch
What
those
else?
steps, baby.
What, 7:30 we kicking off tonight?
7:30.
7:30, and you got your Buffaloes at 6:15.
I might have to go out and observe the fans for a half at local sports bar.
I was just going to say, isn't usually that when you do your grocery shopping is during Viking games?
Well, yeah, but I should have it done by then tonight. So, all right.
All right.
See you. You have heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. Trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said, through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns. And while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would like to think. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad that you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Royce is a paid endorser.